Good morning. My name is Christine Tumians. It's 10:30 a.m. I'm the zoning administrator, and I'm calling this meeting of the zoning administrator to order. First item of business is approval of the January 2nd, 2024 minutes. We are now taking public comments on item 2.1. If you're attending in person, wish to make a comment, please raise your hand. There's nobody here. So I will close the public comment. The minutes for January 2nd are approved as submitted. We are now taking public comments for item 3, non-agenda matters. This is the time when any person may address matters not listed on this agenda, but which are within the subject matter jurisdiction of this committee. If you are attending in person and wish to make a comment, please raise your hand. There is nobody attending in person, so I will close the public comment. Next is the zoning administrator statement of purpose. The zoning administrator is appointed by the Planning and Economic Development Director and has the responsibility and authority to conduct public meetings and hearings and to act on applications for minor and reduced review authority projects or entitlements. A determination or decision by the zoning administrator may be appealed to the Design Review Board, Cultural Heritage Board, Planning Commission, or City Council as applicable to the decision. All actions taken by the zoning administrator may be appealed within 10 calendar days. If the final day of the appeal period falls on a non-business day, the appeal period will be extended to the next business day. There are no zoning administrator reports today. There are no consent items. There's one scheduled item, and that is item 6.1. It's a public meeting. Hillside development for the construction of a new single-family residence at 4030 Bridlewood Court. File number HDP 24-004. And Connor McKay is filling in for Connor Briscoe.
Thank you, zoning administrator. As mentioned, this is a minor hillside development permit located at 4030 Bridlewood Court. I'd like to make a slight correction on the slide. It characterizes the project as a rebuild, but this site has actually never been developed with any single family dwelling. While the area was damaged due to wildfire, there was no structure loss at this property. So this project proposes to develop a 2-story, approximately 3,640 square foot single family home. There's a portion of the footprint that is 10% slope or greater, which requires a minor hillside development permit. This slide shows the site plan. As you can see on the topographical markings on the site plan, the proposal places the home on the flattest part, which helps staff find consistency with the hillside development ordinance and supports findings that are required to be made for approval of this permit. Here we have elevations. The project is consistent with building height requirements, and the proposed single family home is a modular building. Here's an aerial. The project would be accessed on Bridlewood Court. As you can see, it's kind of an interesting flag lot with frontage on Cross Creek Road as well. The general plan is very low residential, and the zoning district is a PD in the Sky Farm Plan Development District, and is consistent and implements the general plan land use designation. Here's a neighborhood context. As I mentioned, this property was impacted by the 2017 Tubbs fire, but there was no structure built there at that time, and there's never been a structure constructed here. As I mentioned, the project meets the zoning code standards for setbacks and building height, and really minimizes any alteration of slopes of 10% or greater. The project has been found in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. Pursuant to section 15303, the project is categorically exempt from CEQA because the proposed project consists of one single-family home. There are no unresolved issues. We have not received any public comments. The applicant has accepted all conditions of approval and I believe is available on Zoom. And as I mentioned, staff analysis concludes that all the findings can be met as outlined in the zoning administrator resolution. And staff recommends that the zoning administrator approve this minor hillside development permit. And my contact is CT McKay at srcity.org, 707-543-4351. Or if you can see the screen, you can see Jandon Briscoe, the planner of this project's contact information. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. McKay. Is the applicant on Zoom wishing to?
Yes, I am.
Hi. Are you
hi,
wishing to add anything to Planner McKay's presentation?
We have worked extensively with the HOA, which this home site is in. That's gone through multiple rounds of review with that HOA architect. We worked very closely with them in developing a landscape plan that complies with the HOA guidelines, which largely meets a lot of the guidelines that are, or mimics the guidelines that are part of the hillside development application. And so we'd like to, thank the HOA for, helping us in going through multiple rounds of review and finding from the local community what they would like. And so that will be implemented as part of the plan.
All right, thank you. If you're attending in person and wish to make a comment, please raise your hand. Again, there's nobody present, so I will close the public comment. I agree with the findings that you've chosen the flattest portion of the lot to place to site the new residence. I appreciate the use of stem walls to minimize grading as much as possible on the site. The low roof also minimizes the visual impact to the hillside, and I appreciate the design of the home and how it minimizes visual impact for a house on a hillside. So I agree with the findings. With that, I agree with Planner Briscoe and Planner McKay with their findings. And with that, I'll be approving hillside development for the construction of a new single-family residence at 4030 Bridlewood Court, file number HDP 24-004. Please note that this action is final unless an appeal is filed with the city clerk's office within 10 calendar days. Is it the city clerk or is it the? Is it city? Okay, the city clerk's office within 10 calendar days of today's decision pursuant to zoning code section 20-62.030. For this item, that date is January 27, 2024. That concludes our business for this meeting. So this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much.